a very good afternoon and a warm welcome back to the Czech Republic, here Zdukovic, for the FEI Youth Nations Cup of 2026. Already, earlier on today, we saw some scintillating action with the children on horses. Poland, quite brilliant to retain the title that they won 12 months ago here in Zdukovic. But we move on now to the next of our competitions, and it's going to be the Junior Nations Cup. 2-round competition with a jump-off if we have equality of faults for first place at the end of the 2 rounds of action. We've also got the individual riders, the ones that haven't quite made it to team selection this week. They're featuring in their own individual competition a little later on as well. But it's a tough task ahead. It's going to have to be if they're to wrestle the title away from Romania, who were brilliant to win here 12 months ago. They won on 12 faults. It was Germany that finished second. Germany, of course, second earlier on today in the Children on Horses Nations Cup. And then Poland finished third. They were on the podium 12 months back. They're already with the Nations Cup in the bag here this afternoon, taking the Children's a little earlier on today. So Romania feature, as do Germany, as do Poland. But they're joined by Denmark, the home nation of Czechia, and Hungary as well, all hoping to take the title. We've got a couple of riders that feature in the field that were part of the Nations Cup event here 12 months ago. We've got some that are making their Nations Cup debut here for 2026 as well. So look at the course. It's around 1.40 m in height, so it's big and it's bold out there, and it's going to take some jumping. Plenty of questions asked by our course design team. The first round, there's 12 numbered obstacles, 15 jumping efforts, which means we've got the double and the combination at play here this afternoon, and a time allowed in the opening round of 80 seconds. We see the first round of action. As we said, we've got 6 nations hoping to take the title here this afternoon. We're going to see each and every one of those nations feature. 4 riders in each team. The best 3 scores will count at the end of round number 1 in terms of team competition. We will move on to the individuals. Once the individuals are over and done, they feature in a 1-round against the clock competition. We're going to see their prize giving for the best 6 and then move on to round number 2. Round 2, the teams will jump in reverse order of merit from their first round score. And then, of course, if we have equality of faults at the end of 2 rounds of action, we then move through to a jump off against the clock, where again, we'll see all 4 team members with the 3 best scores counting time and faults both at play in that decisive jump off against the clock. We may not need a jump off. One not required here 12 months ago when Romania were the best of them all after 2 rounds of jumping. So let's see how the competition plays out. It's going to be Denmark that get us underway, led by their chef de keep, Bo Muller. And the first to go for them, 16-year-old Malu-Therese Mulberg Larsen and the stallion Tannenberg Drie Boken. This is a 10-year-old by Tangelo for a rider that 3 years ago was part of the Children on Horses European Championships. 6th out of 105 combinations on that occasion. So we know that she can handle the occasion, she can handle the pressure, but it's a tough job being not only the pathfinder for your team, but the trailblazer in the competition here this afternoon. So for Denmark, the first to go, Malu-Therese Mulberg Larsen and Tannenberg Drie Boken. You can see there, these fences are right up there. They're going to be the same sort of height as you'd expect to see, especially in a 1-star Grand Prix, if not 2-star Grand Prix across the globe. That double there, vertical to Oxer, but on top of the vertical you've got the delicate plank on the flat cups. Got the water at play as well there, and you could see Tannenberg's Drie Boken just taking a little look down into that water. Still clear at the moment for Malu-Therese Mulberg Larsen. Triple bar. Oxer that follows. and that vertical with the viaduct wall filler beneath. 80 seconds, the time allowed. Just now heading for home through that combination. Down to the final fence. This looks to be a brilliant start, and she was a long, long way off that final fence, but Tannenberg Drie-Boken leaves it standing, which means we've got a clear for our first to go for Denmark. It's a clear for Malu Therese, Molbjerg Larsen, Tannenberg Drie-Boken. It's big, and it is bold, but they made that look very, very easy indeed. So let's move on to the next, and it is for the home nation of Czechia. And it's 16-year-old Vanessa Ingrid Pacina and Vision of Picobello Z. Part of the team that were fourth here 12 months ago. Been a key member on Youth Nations Cup teams. Seen her feature across Europe. Part of the team that made the finals in Liège in Belgium back in 2024. Also had a taste of what it's like at some of the world's biggest shows, featuring in the Prague playoffs last November. Super way to finish 2025, and 2026 has started just as well. Little deep to the triple bar. So far so good as she turns for home. Just seemed to have a good stride actually into that combination. The horse though just got a little bit inverted, maybe a little bit spooked, a little bit tense, because that's right alongside the arena wall. And that's where the crowd are gathering. And we saw a few just get a little bit spooky down that line in the Children on Horses Nations Cup earlier today. So we've got the Oxydan into the combination, then the refusal. 8 jumping faults with 6 added to the time. But sadly, unsurprisingly, Vision of Picobello Z says no at the second time of asking, which means it's elimination there for Vanessa Ingrid Pacina. So absolutely not the start that the home nation were hoping for. But from Czechia to Germany, they were so unlucky. They came so close to a title in the children's earlier on this afternoon. They had to settle for second on that occasion, but I think they want to win this one. And it is the first to go for them. Jolie Marie Kuna, 16 years of age, another daughter of the great Max Kuna. Saw Grace Isabel competing in the children's earlier today. So now to Jolie Marie Kuna and EIC Stepstone. Familiar face on German youth squads. Some really good form in the National Grand Prix, the Bavarian Open. Some real contrast with the first 2 riders that we've seen so far. One making it look very easy, Denmark's Malu Therese Molbjerg Larsen. And the other just coming into difficulty down that final line, Vanessa Ingrid Pacina. But so far so good for Jolie Marie Kuna. Don't want to speak too soon, but she's turning for home and it looks to be good so far. Combination. Could see the way there. She just backed off a little bit into the combination, but landed. She put the pressure on. and she's heading for home on a clear. And that's a super start for Germany. A super start to the afternoon's action for Jolie Marie Kuna and EIC Stepstone. So we've got another clear. 2 clears from the 3 that have gone. So, Poland next to go. Leader 1 and Gaia Kazimierzak. Leader 1, the British-bred stallion, 9-year-old by number 128. It's for a young rider that we've seen on the podium at her own national championships. Also seen her on the podium on Youth Nations Cup teams. Children's Nations Cup of Zuidwald in the Netherlands. Last year finishing top 3 there. Just ran down to that vertical. Interestingly, that fence was an oxer. Jumped in the opposite direction for the Children on Horses Nations Cup, and it caused all sorts of problems. And now as a vertical after the water as well, you'd expect that to come into play, but so far they've jumped that very easily indeed. And then the solid white poles, that's going to blend into the background. But this looks to be good so far. I think there's a smile on the face of Gaia Kazimierzak as she heads down to the final fence to give Poland a dream start. Clear there for Gaia and leader 1. Denmark, Germany, Poland all starting with a clear. So Romania next to go. Stefan Ionut, the team leader, the chef to keep for them. So they look to retain the title for 2026. Here is Alexandra Maria Robu and Nero van der Frulle. Picked up the silver medal at the Balkan Championships last year. Early fence down. Ooh, gets in very deep as well. The horse was really good to jump that. Takes the front bar, but still on track, and it's a total of 8 at the moment for Alexandra Maria Robu. Maybe a few early nerves that show there, just taking the opportunity to get right into the corner, just to settle the canter back down. That combination again, I think that already with just 5 gone is looking to be the real bogey fence in this. Comes into play there.
I'm so sorry to say, but it is so amazing.
Horse okay, fine and away. They're just going to make sure that Alexandra Maria Robu gets checked out. Wonderful team, huge team at events such as this here, the FEI Jumping Youth Nations Cup in Zduchowice. Couldn't wish for any better. Medical team, veterinary team, they are all here. All of the athletes and all of the horses get the best possible care. And you could hear a round of applause because she is up and on her feet there. Romania's Alexandra Maria Robu. Not the result she'd have hoped for, but even to get selected for a team such as this. It's a huge achievement for these riders, a real reward for their hard work and effort over the winter months, whether that be competing on the international circuit or on the national circuit back at home. So the next is Hungary. And we start with Laszlo Nimrod Oz, 14 years of age, riding the 13-year-old Claramo-sired stallion, Coden VA. Another that we saw in the Global Champions playoffs in Prague last November. Also competed up to 3-star level at the start of this year in Krakow. So this should be no problem at all for Laszlo. But of course, with the added pressure of this being a team event, didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming at all, because the round had been foot perfect up until that point. He's got the horse beautifully schooled, right where he wants to be, and it looked as if he'd done enough after that triple bar. But home on the 4. Stays on the 4 there. Hungary's Laszlo Nimrod Oz and Coden VA. So we've seen the first rider for all 6 of our teams. 3 have jumped clears: Denmark, Germany and Poland. 4 for Hungary. And then the 2 eliminations, Czechia and Romania. And that puts all the pressure on the final 3 riders, because all of their scores to count. So back with Denmark now. It was a clear for Malu Therese Mjolberg Larsen. And the next to go, 16-year-old Clarami Snedbjorn, Poulsen and Dubai de Soie. Brilliant on home soil. Big winner at youth level back last summertime. And can be unbelievably quick against the clock. So if Denmark were to keep on track with the clears, this could definitely be one to keep an eye out for. Fence line again. Not too sure what it is about that fence. Obviously the triple bar gets the momentum bowling forward, but it's a fairly nice fence to have after a triple bar. So we're heading home on the 4. Just have opened things up ever so slightly. It is the 4 for Clara Mies, Snedbjorn Poulsen and Dubai de Soie. Beautifully through the combination. But the home nation are next to go. Victoria Popistilova and Kalesta. Victoria just 15 years of age, and this is an 11-year-old Berlin-sired mare that she rides. Made the team at the youth finals in Liège, Belgium last year. Jumped really well on that occasion. Jumped to super clear, finished top 6 individually. Rode that very well. The water turned in tight, didn't give the horse too much time to think about it. Put the pressure on. And this is a really important round because it's a score that's going to count, so she really needs to get home. Hopefully stay on the 4 through the final part of the combination and the Oxer to finish. And that is exactly what they do. So they finish on the 4, 78.59, edging close to that time allowed of 80 seconds. But it is the 4 there for Kalesta and Viktori Popisalova. So Germany once more with a clear already, Jolie Marie Kuna. And it's 15-year-old Lutz Gripsova that goes next with the Westphalian Stallion, the 8-year-old by Cornet Oblensky, Cornet Royale. Family steeped in history in the world of breeding. Aiming towards the German Youth Championships later on this season. From the incredible breeding stable, Ludger and Lutz Gripsova. So finding top quality horses no problem at all for Lutz. And this is a real superstar. Just 8 years of age, but you can see the ability there over the water, can't you? No trouble at fence number 9. Maybe just needs to think about the time. 80 seconds the time allowed, and I think that's going to come into play for Lutz Gripsova here. Looks like he's going to be the first to cross over, and he is just that, 83.24, which means it is a clear for jumping, but it's 4 for time. Time part of the test as well, so caught out by the clock there, Lutz Gripsova. So clear and 4 for both Denmark and now Germany. Poland next to go. Nikola Wozniak here with the French-bred mare. This is Haktima de la Lantinière. Had great success in Belgium just a couple of weeks ago. In fact, the Youth Nations Cup there, Centaur riding this very horse. Had a very good crack at the Grand Prix as well. Recently stepping up not only to the junior competitions but into the young riders and the under-25s. Everyone ringside riding every stride with Nikola. Just lost a little bit of a seat over the first part of the combination. Did very well to recover. She's got just one stirrup as she heads down to the final fence, but it doesn't bother Nikola, and she jumps a clear 79.26, and she has timed that to perfection, hasn't she? And that means with 2 riders gone, Poland have 2 clear and a slight advantage over the others. Romania back with us. And it's the 17-year-old Emma Victoria Constantinescu, here with Luc Del Laghetto. This is an Ustinov side, gelding 13 years of age. And don't forget Emma's score to count. Mara Elena Constantinescu and Luca Alexandra Popper still to come for Romania, and the pressure on those because their scores will be counting. And that's not the start they'd hoped for. Did so well to jump that at the second time of asking, didn't she? Because you can see this horse, whether it's excited, whether it's a little bit nervous, I think a mix of both, just needing a guiding hand. Oh, what a shame. Emma Victoria Constantinescu did so well to get back on track after that early disobedience, but the second follows pretty soon after. So it is sadly elimination there for Emma, and I think the chance may well have slipped away for the Romanian team, who was so brilliant to win it here 12 months ago. So anyway, we move on to our next, and it is for Hungary, the 16-year-old talent Annabel Bodnar, and the mare FEI. Annabel knows all about this Nations Cup. She was part of the team that were 5th here 12 months ago. Back hoping to make a mark. Another that over the winter time made the step up to 3-star level on home soil. Fence down there, so Laszlo Nimrodos was first to go for Hungary. Scored 4. Now we see Annabel Bodnar on 4 as well with FEI. Another fence down. Needs to stay on the 8 really to give Hungary a chance. Good ride through the combination. Now the final fence, little close on the clock. And I think she knew it, didn't she? Just pushed on to the final fence. Has that down as one-time penalty as well. So it's 13 there for Annabel Bodnar and FEI. Halfway through round 1 in terms of team competition. Looking very good for Poland. But we head back to Denmark. Emily Frund, 15 years of age, with the 15-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding by Sirocco Blue, Zeppa Blue. Clear and 4 at the moment for Denmark. Based in Germany, where we've seen Emily on the national circuit. We've seen her internationally featuring on teams in Centaur and Belgium. Really is in the Sirocco Blue stamp, this one. That's a little bit of a bend in the line down to the vertical. Fence 9's gone, so the best Denmark can now hope for is a first round score of 4. Through the combination. And it is the 4.76.10. Did well to regroup and finish on that 4-fault round. But the best Denmark can now hope for in round number 1 is 4. Germany and Poland could still jump first round clears here this afternoon. And it is to Czechia now. With that elimination early in the competition. These scores very important. We've got the 4 from Viktoria Popisalova, and it's now Adriana Hakarova. 15 years of age is Adriana, here with the 8-year-old stallion Ulrike Demont. Dressed for the occasion, the feathers flowing and the round flowing to this point. Huge leap over the triple bar. And I think the home crowd are riding every single fence here with Adriana Hakarova. She's going to head for home now. Should be okay for time as well. Keep it together. Big jump in, so careful, so scopy. 1 to go, has to keep travelling, and she does. Very clever bit of riding there, and it's a super clear for Adriana Hakarova and Ulrike Demont. So Germany, June Karlinder and Botikara Old, Oldenburg horse, German bred through and through. For the young rider, the 18-year-old that was 3rd in the Golden Saddle in Leipzig at the turn of the new year. Part of the Nations Cup in Centaur just a couple of weeks ago. Rode to a top 10 finish there individually. Clearing a 4 at the moment for Germany. So careful. Botikara Old taking so much time through that double. Fence 9 goes. So the best that Germany can hope for in round 1 is 4. Will they be staying on the 4? They will, comfortably inside the time allowed, but Germany now with a clear and 2 on 4. The best they can do in round 1 is 4 faults. The best that Poland can do is a clear, and they could get that clear in the bag early in the competition because their first 2 riders have jumped clears, and now they look to make it 3 from 3 with 15-year-old Adam Gasinski and Ramstein T. 9-year-old stallion by the legendary Diamant, featured on the Youth Nations Cup teams in Zuidwald in 2024 and in 2025. Big winner there last year. And has already featured on teams this season. Another that we saw in Centaur just a couple of weeks ago. Few whistles coming from the crowd, just needs to keep up the pace. Wouldn't want a time penalty here. Even though with a time penalty they'd still be going into the halfway break as leaders. Ooh. Where on earth did that come from? It looked nailed on for a clear, didn't it? But then it's all gone wrong at the triple combination, where it has done for so many already this afternoon. 2 refusals there, and Adam Gosinski is sadly eliminated there with Ramstein T. Just now heading over in that direction, just to give the horse a good luck, because there's a chance of him returning in round number 2. Really disappointed there, and you can understand that, can't you? Young man that was jumping so brilliantly. But he's not the first, and I've got a sneaky suspicion that he's not going to be the last to fall foul of that triple combination. Czech Equestrian Federation triple combination there. Good decision though, wise choice, just heads back over, has a good look, tells the horse it's okay, nothing to worry about, and we'll give that another shot in round number 2. So, penultimate rider for Romania. Or is it? Looks as if we're going to be going straight on to Hungary. Third rider for them, Maya Peters, and the 12-year-old Cascadello side, Gwen. So Maya on track now. Hungary with 1 on 4 and 1 on 13. Looks as if Romania have potentially waved the white flag, knowing that their chance has slipped away. Puts a lot of pressure on, doesn't it? The final rider for Czechia and the final rider for Poland as well, because they can't afford an elimination on the scoreboard. Really having to ride, 16 years of age, but already placing at 3-star shows in the under-25s at the World Cup show of Budapest last year. Really using all of that experience that she's gained up to 3-star level to get this horse around, because it's really not giving her an easy ride. Going to be okay for time. And jumps that final fence very well indeed. So we've got a 13, we've got a 4, but now we've got ourselves a clear for Hungary. Brilliant bit of riding for Maya Peters and for Gwen. So, final riders. Denmark, 2 on 4, 1 clear at the moment. It's the 17-year-old Asger Skov Rosenkilde and the 14-year-old Gerdings Rockmama. Ridden for Denmark already at the Baltic Championships. Very successful in pony competitions and making a silky smooth transition through to the horses. And a strong round here could put Denmark right towards the top of the leaderboard at the halfway stage. But we've got the 4. Need to keep it to the 4. One to jump. Going to be a little tight for time. Just having to organise there to try and find a stride to the last. Doesn't quite work out. And with the 2 time as well, it is a score of 8 there. 8 for Denmark. Asger Skov Rosenkilde and Gerdings Rockmama. So that is the discard score, which means we've got a clear and 2 4s to count. So Denmark carry 8 into round number 2. Of this, the FEI Jumping Junior Nations Cup of Zdukovic. 8 the confirmed score for Denmark. The home nation of Czechia next up. Final rider for them now, bearing in mind they've got an elimination, so this score is going to count. They've got a 4 and a clear. So even with that elimination, it could still be an impressive score moving through to round number 2. Grand Prix winner in Olomouc back last October needs to refine similar form to produce the goods today for Czechia. But he is on a score of 4, and I think that was potentially a foot in the water. And that sort of fence will be a new addition to these riders at junior level. Not something we saw earlier today in the children on horses. So 4 at the moment. We're going to get another confirmed score in a moment's time. And it is for Vaclav Humpelik and Elvista. So a clear and 2 4s. It's another on 8 going through to round number 2. 8 for Czechia, tied with Denmark. So Germany now. Vietka Sophie Bardi. Clear and 2 4 at the moment for the German riders, but this is Shades of Grey, Hanoverian mare by Contendro, now 14 years of age. Gold medalist at the Children on Horses European Championships in Oliva in 2022. It's Been riding on Nations Cup teams ever since then, through children on horses into juniors, and I'm sure that's going to continue into the young riders. Decision to make after that water. Do they keep on moving in the big canter, take a little bit of a risk at that vertical? Do they try and steady the horse up? The risk in that option is they may just end up a little bit too deep. Middle part of that combination goes, and that really is cruel because it was a lovely round for Vieca Sophie Bardi and Shades of Grey, but it's another on a score of 4, which means the German team go into the halfway break on a total of 8. Nothing to separate Germany, Czechia and Denmark. But Poland could go into the break with a fence or 2 in hand. Here, all dependent on what sort of round Tola can produce. 17-year-old Tola Zwierzyńska and Juanita van der Helle. 10-year-old mare by Gilbert van Reutershoff. Landed very steep there, just needed a little bit of encouragement down that distance. Just needs to keep up the pace. Time has played a part in this afternoon's competition. Poland are going to want to go into that break with a clear fence in hand. She is going to be very close to the time. Not look like having a fence, but needs to keep moving. Is she going to make it? Is she going to make it? She is. 79.95. Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure she'll be telling her friends that she knew exactly what she was doing. It was timed to perfection. It was a brilliant round of jumping under a huge amount of pressure. But Tola Zwierzyńska did not crack, and it's clear, and it's a clear for Poland. They've got 2 fences in hand on those that have gone already. Denmark, Czechia, and Germany. They are firmly in the driving seat, but there's 1 to go for Hungary. They've got a 4 and a clear at the moment, and it is 16-year-old Sofia Nagy and the 11-year-old Vivant Sad mare Victory Blue PS. They were part of the team that finished 5th here in 2025, so they know the drill. Clear here, and they're only a fence off the leaders, Poland. So down to the final fence to stay on the 4. So we've got 2 4-fault rounds. We've got a clear as well for Hungary, which means they finish on 8. And it is very close, but there's a little bit of an advantage to Poland. Halfway through this FEI Jumping Junior Nations Cup here in Zaduchowice, and it's advantage to Poland on the clear. Then, as we take a look down the leaderboard, we've got Germany in second on the 8, ever so slightly quicker than Czechia in third. Hungary in fourth. Denmark in fifth. But it is all to play for. We're going to see the individuals in just a moment's time, and by my reckoning, there's 17 of those due to feature. They're featuring in a one-round competition, 1 round against the clock. We're going to have a good look at that competition in just a moment's time. It's over the same course, so fences 1 to 12 with a time allowed of 80 seconds, but there is a lot to play for and plenty at stake with our individuals coming up.
In 2 minutes we will continue with the liberal class. Zaraz ale demonstrujemy poprosiła Akko Sobiewika jednostwica, and the prize given in this class will be without horses. Eventualnie raz da się bierze papierę w popiet. As for some star players in this individual class, Economino Stabilis Mes, Granzi, Diego Virtusa, Osco, Nicolas Yerixi, Samarkand.
So individual action now. These riders were so close to getting their team selection. It hasn't quite gone to plan for them, but they've got a chance to take honours individually here. And it's a chance that so many of them want to grasp with open arms. Starting with Poland then, this is Mikołaj Zabicki and Summertime Red Wine. It's the 8-year-old mare. Great to see so many of these young riders not only concentrating on their own careers and progressing them, they are concentrating on the careers of young horses as well to ensure that they've got that horsepower to move on to when needed. So the first fence down. See there, a little bit of a different angle for that triple bar. It is very wide indeed. You'd be looking around 1m80, 1m40 high, 1m80 wide. That huge fence for some of these young riders. So on the 4 at the moment, heading down to the final fence and just moves on a little bit too much there. So it's 8 in 78.09. That was our first to go. Poland's Mikołaj Zabicki and Summertime Red Wine. Germany once more. And it's Lena Marie Krauss here with the messenger sired mare, the 12-year-old Mila 69. Let's see if this lady can throw down the gauntlet to those 15 that remain after her. I think she could do, because her form has been truly second to none at the start of this year. Another rider that I'm sure is going to be banging on the door come selection time for teams at the next few youth championships. That's what these FEI Jumping Youth Nations Cup events are all about. Just seeing how these riders and their horses handle that extra pressure to prepare them for the major championships that lie ahead. Of course, you've got the Youth European Championships, but I'm sure many of the selectors and many of the federations are looking far further into the future. Down to the last, and it is game on now, isn't it? The race is definitely afoot. 73.94, and that clear has blown this competition wide open. 73.94 super from Lena Marie Krauss and Mila 69. It was Germany that dominated the individuals in the children on horses earlier today. First and second, fourth as well. And it's Germany that lead at the moment. And Germany that go next. A fiercely competitive talent, this one. Jeremy Hine and the 11-year-old Westphalian mare. This is Bellini's Babel. $73.94 to beat. I think we could get much quicker than that this afternoon, but a clear has really put the pressure on. Little rattle there. The Ox are off the corner, just away from the in gate, and I think it just distracts the horses ever so slightly off that corner. Great to see how many have really taken on the water. Can be a fence that horses don't see all too often now. In the modern sport, it's all weather surfaces, and the open waters are featuring less and less in modern show jumping. Middle part of the combination down, so it is going to be a score of 4. Stays on the 4, 74.12, so Jeremy Hein of Germany goes into second at the moment as our fastest 4. Second for Jeremy Hein and Bellini's Babel. 3 gone so far, 14 individuals still to go. Denmark right in contention in terms of the team competition on a score of 8 in the halfway stage, and it's Denmark now. This is Celia Dalgaard and Keaton Ravnashav, DWB. 11-year-old gelding by Cantalar. Nice and steady down the line. Composed at the moment. Doesn't look overly quick, but not wasting a lot of time. You could see just how hard she had to work down the distance to the vertical, and it shows that this horse has got a monstrous stride. Just wonder, she's got, what, 6 seconds to get home. Has she just been a little too steady here? As she jumps that final fence to finish with 1 time penalty. That is heartbreaking. 80.56, but even with that 1 time penalty, with just 1 clear on the scoreboard at the moment, that goes into second for Celia Dalgaard and Keaton Ravnashav, DWB. Romania are next to go. Hasn't quite gone to plan for the Romanian team in terms of that competition earlier on this afternoon. But this one by the Olympic gold medal winning Big Star. It's a 9-year-old. This is Big Easy. Von der Mittelerde for Lozovanu Raras Nikolai. Early fence down, and that's going to drop them down the leaderboard, isn't it? Another fence down along that line, so heading home, just starting to unravel for Raras Nikolai. Lozovanu. So the Romanians sadly eliminated from competition, but It's the home nation of the Czech Republic, Czechia, next to join us. Klára Hlaváčková and Leander W. My Carrera VDL. 10 years of age now, this gelding. Slightest of hesitations into the Oxer at 2, so just going to need Klára to really try and push on, and you could see she was so strong and determined over the Oxer and then through the double. That was a brilliant bit of riding. Jumps the water very nicely. Sits back up for the vertical. Still, of course, 2 more days of jumping to come over the weekend with us here in Zduchovice. Had to put the pressure on there, didn't she? She could feel the horse hesitating all the way down that line, so had to put the leg on, and it was just that made the horse dive at the fence ever so slightly. Really rides well, gets a good shot into that combination. She has rode a brilliant round here, hasn't she? Klára Hlaváčková. You could see just had to ride so hard through the combination that there was a little bit of miscommunication coming down to the last, and she's made a wise decision there and just said, actually, we're not going to take that final fence on. We're going to circle. The chance had already gone, so there's nothing to lose now. We're going to circle, get back on track, and try and finish on a good note. And really, a score of 30 doesn't do that round justice, because she really had to ride like her life depended on it there. But Klára Hlaváčková finishes there on a score of 30. Well, we move on to our next, Jana Krupikova for the Czech Republic. And Jana's here with the 9-year-old gelding, Like a Bird. Just the one clear at the moment. Lena Marie Kraus leads with Mila, and Celia Dalgard in second on the one-time penalty. So 20 seconds to get home. Triple and then the Oxer to conclude. Needs to keep on moving though. Can't afford to take too many pulls down the final line to the last. One clear at the moment, 73.94. Not going to be quick enough to topple Lena Marie Kraus from the top of the leaderboard, but sneaks inside the time allowed with the expense of the final rail going. So it is a score of 4 there. Jana Krupikova, and Like a Bird, 4 in 79.65, and it goes into 4th. Germany 3rd, Denmark 2nd, Germany still out in front. But Poland are next to go. Don't forget, we're going to get back to the team action very soon indeed, and Poland firmly in charge. 2 fences between them and 2nd, so they've got a little bit of breathing room. But it could be Poland that win this individual competition as well. This is Michalina Laka and T Gold Quidam the second Z. Gets very close to the first fence. Just wasn't happening, was it, from the very start? Miscommunication between Michalina. And I think really she did all she possibly could there. She could feel the hesitation when landing from the Oxer. She tried to get the distance, but she's on her feet. And They'll both be back to fight another day. We've said 2 more days of action still to come here in Zuduchowice. But we've seen 8, which means we've got 9 left to go. And the individuals here this afternoon. And the first of those for Czechia. Barbara Safratova and Lion Era, 12-year-old Lodano Sad mare. Bred here in the Czech Republic. Czech combination through and through in front of their home crowd. That knocks her off the corner. They never quite recovered down to that double. Actually thought the vertical into the double with the plank on top might cause a few more problems than it has done. Super right for the combination. Just takes a wider line down to the final fence, and as a result picks up a time penalty or 2, so 8 jumping, 2 time as well to round it up to 10 there. Eight remain. And next up for Poland, Julian Lekowski and La Volcano L. Polish bred gelding by Valkan L. Poland leading in terms of team competition. Best individual at the moment in 5th. Mikolaj Zibicki and Summertime Red Wine on a score of 8 went very early. The lead still with the only clear, Lena Marie Kraus and Mila 69. Plenty of encouragement down that line. Reacted quickly once more. You can see with all of these young riders just how strong and well built the foundations are. Up and over the final fence, 8 in 77.68. Julian Lekowski there. Julian Lekowski goes into 5th place with La Volcano L, the best of the Polish riders. But it's still Germany 3rd with Jeremy Hein. Denmark, Celia Dalgaard in 2nd, and the gold medal at the moment going to Lena Marie Kraus and Mila 69. Not many to go, and the first up is Victory Simkova. Here with Margie. Another Czech combination through and through. It's by Caruso 279, this mare. little bit of hesitation there. Looked like there could be a foot in the water. Little bit of backsplash there. And that confirmed with the score on the screen. So down now to the final fence on 4. And it is the 4 there for Victory, Simkova and Marshy. So a score of 4 for them. But second fastest of the 4 falters, and with clears few and far between, it goes into 4th there for Victory. Just off the podium, Jeremy Hine and Celia Dalgard still 3rd and 2nd respectively. But 73.94, and importantly clear, leads for Mila 69 and Germany's Lena Marie Kraus. So the next to go, Louis de Witt and Hickstead Hero. The next up for Germany, it's a super 9-year-old gelding by Hickstead White. And Hickstead White really throwing some incredible talent in recent years. But fence 2 on the floor. Little quick around the corner, maybe. Another day there when they'd have jumped that and kept that standing. Fence 9 down as well, so the score just moving up. We're on 8 now. Really soft hands, keeps them ever so quiet, even when the horse is just starting to pull. Rattle at the final fence as well, but it's score of 8 there, 79.98. It's going to be in the top 10 at the moment, but not going to be good enough for a top placing here this afternoon. Still Lena Marie Kraus, top of our individual leaderboard. 5 remain. And Germany back with us. Germany the first of those 5. And this is Finja Melin Nubar, here with a 15-year-old Sangerscheid bred Ustenhof Saad Dakota. Just quickly away from the vertical at 3 and turns in there with some 2.5 strides. Flows nicely down to the double. Maybe a little too nicely. They almost got there too easily, didn't they? And just switched off, lost focus for a second. I was actually thinking this could really be a round that challenges. Real frustrating fence to have there, because Finja Melin Nubar couldn't really do much about that. So it is the 4 in 76.67. So a score of 4 there, goes into 5th place at the moment for Finja Melin Nubar and Dakota. 5th it is, with just 4 left to jump in terms of our individual action here this afternoon. But here we go with the next. For Poland, Alicia Sorowska. Alicia Sorowka and Cantaccini. Poland leading the team event at the moment. Could well lead the individual event as well, with those still to come. Went big on the 6 strides. A little bit wider around the corner. And it is only now coming into the latter stages of the competition where you can really start to appreciate just how good that round was of Lena Marie Krauss and Mila 69. They really played their cards well. Could have paid off. Not many left to go. They could have won it. They could win it as the only clear. But they posted that clear in a respectable time, and it has just put the pressure on those, and the pressure has then shown the cracks. So 4 is the score in terms of jumping faults, and there's going to be a little bit of time as well. 80.94, 1 from the clock, and a total of 5. Still just that 1 clear. 3 remain. Here's a 9-year-old Westphalian gelding by Staccato Gold. This is Vinatorini W and Andre Popisili. Look fresh on landing from the first. Don't want to be having too many bucks and skips around this course because the time is snug. Plank goes. First time this afternoon. Thought it would at some point today. Big spook at the water. Going to be another 4 faults added to the score, so up to 8 now. Andre Popisil and Vinatorini W. Just dropped off the leg as well after that spook at the water. So on a score of 12. Well, jumps through it at the second time of asking. So jumping and time, 105.59. It's a total of 42 for Andre Popisil. 2 to go in the individual competition here this afternoon, led by Lena Marie Krauss and Mila 69. But next up, it is for Poland. This is Rani Kapuklora, 10-year-old Hungarian-bred mare. This one for Alexandra Skobel of Poland. 73.94 to beat. Just about to say how good a start to the round it had been. And again, that double. And again, through no real faults of her own. Couldn't have done much more, but I think the flag has gone up from our water judge. Didn't see a splash, but clearly part of the hoof made contact with the plasticine landing lath. Second refusal. And again, I think it's another example of a horse being spooked by the open water, even though they've jumped it. And then just unsettling the horse and never really getting back into a flow. So there's one left to go in the individual competition. Lena Marie Kraus could have won it as the only clear. The last is for Hungary. It's Hannah Susan here with Stoltz Up. 9-year-old mare by Stolzenberg. $73.94 to beat to win it from final draw. Can see there, just coming out of the corner, starting to believe that this could actually happen, starting to move up through the gears. But it's gone. The Ox are into the combination, and I think she was up on the clock turning for home there. Can you believe it? On the 4, 72.20. What a try, and it's onto the podium. It's still good enough for third there for Hungary's Hannah Susan and Stoltz Up. It means the one-time penalty is enough to secure second. The silver medal going to Denmark's Celia Dalgaard. But the gold goes to our only clear round here this afternoon. A gold medal winning worthy performance. And it is gold for Lena Marie. 69. We're going to see them back for a presentation shortly, I'm sure of that. And we've got, of course, the team competition to be decided. Another little reminder at the halfway stage. Poland on a clear. Out in front, 2 fences in hand. Looking very good for them. Hopefully they won't throw it away, because then we've got Germany in second on 8, Czechia in third on 8, also on 8 Hungary in fourth, and Denmark on 8 in fifth. So nothing to separate second to fifth, but 2 fences between second and Poland, who lead the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we will see the best 6 riders at without their horses on the first giving ceremony in this individual class.
Well, our top six back with us. Unbelievable competition. Just one clear from the 17 that started. Sixth place there is Germany's Finja Malin-Nubar. Fifth in fact, went to the Czech Republic, Victory Simkova. Fourth was Jeremy Hine for Germany. Third, Hannah Susan of Hungary. Second for Denmark, Celia Dalgaard. But our winner individually this afternoon for Germany, Mila 69 and Lena Marie Kraus.
Congratulations to the men and also to other riders. Gratulazione a voi seguite nella stazione e ostati negli schierini. Second round will start in 5 minutes. Catturare Pushkitas como istituirá a mi deme Dura Collaborative for having out of category juniors, ladies and gentlemen. We will continue with the second round of the Nations Cup juniors here at the CSIO.
Well, we are back under starters orders, ready and raring to go, chomping at the bit for round number 2 of this, the FEI Jumping Junior Nations Cup here in Zdukowice. Advantage Poland at the end of the first round, clear. The other 4 teams still in contention, Germany, Czechia, Hungary and Denmark, all on a score of 8. Little bit of breathing room for Poland, but they're not home and hosed just yet. But it is Denmark that get the competition back underway then on a score of 8 for round number 1. This combination produced a stunning clear from first in the draw though, didn't they? 16-year-old Malu Therese, Mulbjerg Larsen and Tannenberg Drieboken. Rattle there. And although they were clear in the first round, that doesn't mean they're going to find it as easy in this second round. And you can see there the Oxter off the corner down. Little bit off the double. Pays the price at the second part. So they're starting to mount up now, and it's 8 already. Nicely over the triple bar. It was this line and the combination that really proved influential. Latter stages of the course, horses just starting to tire ever so slightly, and then this big ask. Oxer, 2 strides vertical, 1 stride vertical out. So on 12 as they head for home. Time allowed 80 seconds, don't forget that. So clear in the first round and 16 in the second. What a difference a round can make. And how will that play out for Denmark? We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully those that scored in the first round come back and bank a clear round in round number 2. So from Denmark to Hungary. The first for them, the 14-year-old that finished with a score of 4 in round number 1. Laszlo Nimrodos and Koden VA. So it was the 4 in round number 1. Hoping to right that wrong in round number 2. And it was a 4 that we couldn't quite believe, because as we've seen in this round, round number 1 was foot perfect. Super through the combination. Are they going to put the record straight in round number 2 and post a clear? Yes, they are. Brilliant clear from Laszlo Nimrodos and Coden VA. And that's just going to put the pressure on those other teams on a score of 8. Could well end up putting the pressure on the Polish team comfortably out in front. Czechia next to go. The first round didn't go to plan for this combination, but they've got an opportunity here to finish on a high, to leave on a good note. Part of the team that were fourth here 12 months ago. 16-year-old Vanessa Ingrid Pacina and Vision of Picobello Z. It's the combination that caused the problems for this partnership in the first round, as it was a few others. Stunning scenery. Incredible setting. Really is. Let's see what's going to happen here. Combination caused problems in the first round. And it's causing problems again in round number 2. It is so close to the wall, and that is where all of the spectators have taken to their seats. So heading back round. Another bite at the cherry. But just not happening, is it? Real shame. And again, such a beautiful round up until that combination. Just means the other 3 for Czechia. Victory, Popisalova, Adriana Hakrova and Vaclav Humplik. Their scores all to count. Increases the pressure on them. Germany, though, second at the halfway stage on 8. A little bit quicker than those around them. But they start with Jolie Marie Kuna and EIC Stepstone. And they were flawless in round number 1. Can they do it again? Could they be the first Nations Cup double clear this afternoon? Good so far. This is a tricky line. The Oxeter vertical here. That Oxeter, you'd have said at the start of competition, one of the easier fences to jump, but it has proved to be far the other end of the spectrum. But super ride through the combination. Is this going to be the first double clear of the afternoon? It is indeed, and it goes to the Kuna family. Jolie Marie Kuna and EIC Stepstone. Germany are right there where they need to be, clawing their way back towards the leaders at the halfway stage, Poland. And it is Poland that go next. Leader 1 for 14-year-old Gaia Kazimazak. Clear scorecard at the end of round number 1. Gaia, Nikola Wozniak and Tola Svirinska, all superb in the opening round of competition. Can they keep it up, or is the pressure going to start to show? Can hear already a few whistles coming from ringside. They're going for the clears, but time faults could make a whole lot of difference this afternoon. One time penalty could end up being the difference between a gold medal and missing out on a place on the podium. One to jump. But it's gone. It's gone head in hands for Gaia Kazimazak. Ooh, now it does get interesting. Germany with a clear. A 4-4 Poland. Germany breathing down the Polish team's neck. So, round number 2. And it's Denmark once more. Clara, Me, Snowbjorn, Poulsen. 16 years of age with Dubai de Soie. Four faults in round number 1. But with the 16 already on the scoreboard for Malu Therese, Mulbjerg Larsen, they really need a clear here. It was a real uncharacteristic mistake in the first round, one that nobody expected. Didn't quite get the stride that she wanted to the yellow oxer at 9, but somehow cleared the front bar and managed to stretch for the back bar as well. Little deep into the combination. But she's clear with one fence left to jump. Oh, and it's gone again. Oh, it's a real heartbreaker in this second round, isn't it? That final fence on course, and it's 4 there for Clara, Me, Snebjorn, Poulsen, and Dubai de Soie. 16-4 for Denmark. Hungary next, to clear already from Laszlo Nimrodos. And now to the 16-year-old Annabelle Bodnar. Viavi. 12 jumping one time from the first. B, C. Are Hungary working their way back into contention? No, they're not, because that one's gone as well. So 4 for Annabel Bodnar and FEI. Czechia next to go. The last 3 scores for them, all to count. 15-year-old Viktoria Popisalova and the 11-year-old Kalesta. Back for round 2, having finished the first round on a score of 4. So score of 8. Just means those faults are going to start to build up for Czechia. Should be okay for time. And she is, but it's a score of 8 there for Viktoria Popisalova. So that is going to count. The 8 faults is going to count at the moment for Czechia, with 2 more riders to come. Adriana Hakrova and Vaclav Humplik. Germany now. Clear for jumping, but for time in round number 1 for the 15-year-old Lutz Gripshover and Cornet Royal. Clearly a horse with an abundance of talent. I would say just lost a little bit of that time in the air in the first round, but runs in deep to the vertical. Can see the scope down that line, but just lays a toe on the Oxer out as well, and I think he's probably set about his round with the time in mind, and it's just broken out of the rhythm that the horse is happy and comfortable within and unsettled the balance. At the moment. Again, not the quickest of rounds. Just a tick over as well, so 8 for jumping and 1 for time. It's 9 for Lutz Gripshover and Cornet Royal. Ball back in the court of Poland, and that's where we go now. Leading at the halfway stage on a clear, the first rider, Gaia Kazimirek, finished on a score of 4. But the next to go for them, the 17-year-old riding the 9-year-old French-bred mare, Haktima de Lantinière. This is Nicola Wozniak. Totally different style to the combination that we saw previously. It's a horse that really likes to run and jump, and Nicola does such a fantastic job of doing just that. You can see there she trusts the horse all the way down to the vertical after the open water. Big stretch at the triple bar. Now waits. Rattle there, but it stays. This really could strengthen Poland's grip on this Nations Cup this afternoon. One fence to go. Brilliant from Nicola Wozniak, and it's a clear for Nicola. Haktima de Lantinière. And if my calculations are correct, Poland with another rider to come, if they jump a clear, they cannot be caught. Adam Grosinski will be next for Poland. Tola Svierzinska, the final rider for them. But we're in round number 2. We're in round number 3 of the second round riders. And it's Denmark once more. The 15-year-old, Emily Thrund, here with the Zirocco blue side, Zeppa blue. Another with an unlucky 4 in round number 1. They're back with a vengeance. Second fence down. So on 4 at the moment for Denmark. They've got a 16 fault, a 4 fault, and another at the moment. There could be more to come. And there is 8 faults now. And I think the chance might just have slipped away. So 8 in round number 2, Emily Thrund and Zeppa blue. So the 4 and the 8 counting at the moment. They're going to be getting at least a score of 12 in round number 2 there, the Danish side. Still Poland in with a chance of jumping a double clear here. Just 1 clear round away from the title. But Hungary are next to go. Clear and 4 so far from their 2 riders, and on track is Maya Peters here with Gwen. The sole clear round for the Hungarian team in round number 1. Can they do it again? Well, they've started clearly full of confidence. That was a very late falling pole, wasn't it? It really was. And then the first part of the combination down as well. Been a long afternoon for some of these combinations, and they were so good in the first round. But they're home on a score of 8, so we've got a clear of 4 and an 8 in round 2 for Hungary. Czechia next to join us. How good was the first round clear from this combination? They're dressed for the occasion as well, aren't they? The red and blue feathers, they really were flying as they were soaring around the first round course. It's Adriana Herkrova and Origi de Mont. Couldn't have wished for a better start to the round. Giving each fence inches. Get up and across the water. Big leap over the triple bar, as they did in the first round. Jumped so well over the oxer in. They just ran out of room to jump that vertical in the middle, didn't they? And they're going to be home on the 4 jumping, and that's where they stay. It was timed to perfection. So we've got an 8, we've got a 4, we've got 12 at the moment in round number 2 for Czechia. Not much between Denmark and the Czech Republic. And there's not much between Germany, who sit second, and Poland, who lead. Germany's third rider now, 18-year-old June Carlinder, and the German-bred Botakara Old. They finished the first round on 4. He could really do with a clear here. Curse of the commentator. Down goes the vertical. And the second part of the double as well, which means a clear for the next of the Polish riders will win the title. They will be away, and they will have secured the FEI Jumping Junior Nations Cup here in Zaduchowice. Super through that combination. Well, I think they're on a score of 8 as they head down to the final fence. The graphics on the screen saying 4. But it was a score of 8 for June Carlinder, and that's going to knock Germany down ever so slightly. But there's so much at stake with this next round, because a clear will absolutely win it for Poland, and it'll be their second Nations Cup victory of the day. Adam Gosinski and Ramstein T, as he and the Polish team now go for gold. Those that were with us for the first round earlier on this afternoon will remember this combination were on point all the way through to the combination, which is where it fell apart. They went back, they spent a lot of time at that combination having a good look, and they've had a little look before they start as well. That's gone. think if he can bring it home on the 4, I think it still could be Poland's title. So much of that is going to be what happens at this next fence. 2 refusals here in the first round, but they've had a good look and they're back. And he's got the horse right where he needs it between hand and leg. In and out on the 4. And I think this could be a title-winning round from Adam Grosinski and Ramstein T. And it looks like it might be 78.98. It is a score of 4. So even with that, Poland, the worst they can do in round number 2 is score 8. The worst they can do overall is 8. And that means they are uncatchable here this afternoon. They have been superb and they will take the gold medal in the FEI Jumping Junior Nations Cup here in Zuduchowice, but the lower placings now to be decided. And we're on to Denmark with the 17-year-old for them. The anchor man is Asger Skov Rosenkilde and Girdings Rockamama. So 4 early. Is the 4 with 1 to jump, and it's going to be a final score of 4, so that is going to count. It's going to be 16 in round number 2 for Denmark, 8 from the first. They're going to finish on a total of 24. That is their final score. Denmark's job this afternoon complete. 24 for the Danish team. Hungary next to go. Carrying 8 from the first round. It could still be a place on the podium for them. They've got a clear and a 4 counting at the moment, and then an 8-fault round from Maya Peters in the balance. The last to go for them, the 16-year-old Sophia Nagy and Victory Blue PS. Down goes that fence. Could be 8, could be 12 in round number 2. Either way, it's going to move them ahead of the 24 scored by Denmark. Foot in the water. Could see the backsplash there as well, so I think that's going to move them up to 8. Should do anyway. We'll get that confirmed. Through that combination. Up and over there. So let's have a little look. Well, they've given at the moment 4 jumping and 1 time. So 5 it is for Hungary's Sophia Nagy. We'll just keep an eye on that score. I was pretty certain there was a foot in the water, but we'll have to wait and see. 9 in round 2, 8 in round number 1. 17 the final score for the Hungarian team. So back to the home nation of Czechia. Final rider for them, 17 years of age, Václav Humplik and Elvista. 8 from round 1. They've got an 8 and a 4 scoring at the moment. Be very interesting to see if the final rider for Poland, Tola Swiaczynska, elects to jump. Doesn't have to. The win is already secured. They cannot be caught with 8 in round number 2. Super round so far, though. Be nice for the Czech team to finish with a clear. And that is exactly what they do. Super clear there. Václav Humplik and Elvista. 8 in round number 1. 12 in round number 2. They finish on a score of 20. So at the moment, they're slotting in behind Hungary and just ahead of Denmark. The silver medal's still up for grabs, and it's Germany now. They've got a clear, they've got an 8, they've got a 9. They really need a clear from their last to go. The 17-year-old Wieke Sophie Bade and shades of grey. Could be silver. It could be off the podium. All depends on what happens with this final round for Germany. Little bit of hesitation through the double, but it's still clear at the moment. Moves on there. Hopefully not going to be caught out by the clock. Through the combination, jump this, and it's silver for Germany. They jump it. It is silver. They're on the podium, the German team, made up of Jolie Marie Kuhner, Lutz Gripshofer, June Carlinder, and Wieke Sophie Bade. The German team secure the silver medal, which means third on 17. So close. We said one-time penalty could make or break, and it's 17 and third for Hungary. Laszlo Nimrodos, Annabel Bodnar, Maya Peters, and Zofia. Fourth goes to the home nation of Czechia on a score of 20 after 2 rounds of jumping. Vanessa Ingrid Pacina. Victory, Popis Silova, Adriana Hakrova, and Václav Humplik. Fifth is for Denmark. Malu Therese, Mulbjerg Larsen, Clara Me, Snebjorn Poulsen, Emily Frund, and Aska Skov. But the victory, unbeatable today. And their fourth and final rider didn't even have to jump round number 2. Congratulations to our winning team in the Junior Nations Cup. Gaia Kazimazak, Nikola Wozniak, Adam Gusinski, and Tola Swiaczynska. It is win number 2 of the day for Poland as they take the FEI Jumping Junior Nations Cup here in Zudukowice. Don't go too far because the podium presentation is on the way.